Hi, Sheila. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. And you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking.
Awesome. I think it's just us for now. Oh, I
Okay.
got a few more jumping on. Where are you from, Sheila?
Atlanta, Georgia.
Atlanta, Georgia. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Let's see. Timmy's Palace. Have you been with us before, Sheila? I don't think we've.
No, this is my first time.
This is your first time. Yay.
I actually just started the Airbnb, super
Oh,
nervous,
good.
tons of questions.
Oh, good. Okay, so tell you what, I had an emergency. I work full time at a hospital. I'm in healthcare. My name is Rachel, healthcare
Okay.
professional by day, real estate investor by night. So I operate primarily in the luxury short-term rental space. So
Mm-hmm.
Airbnb, Verbo, mainly homes. I do single family homes more so, have a few apartments as well. So for me, I love doing this. I'm passionate about it, but I do have to jump off because of an emergency at 9:30. A good amount, unfortunately, a good amount of my team has COVID.
Okay.
So one traveled into town and did not tested negative originally, and then in a few days tested positively. And so I will have to jump off at 9:30 to go and help sort it out. And so just wanted to make you all aware of that as we get folks that are jumping on. So with that being said, good morning, Mike. Good morning, Patricia.
Good morning.
I'm starting to wonder, good morning, Sharita.
Good morning.
Yay.
How are you?
I am well, thank you. And you?
I'm pretty good.
Awesome. So just wanted to give you all a heads up, and I'm probably going to repeat this multiple times. A portion of my team at the hospital has COVID, so I'm going to have to jump off at 9:30 to remotely log in and help them out. So unfortunately, we're going to cut it a little bit short today, but I do have some in-depth trainings and boot camps as well. If you haven't seen them, they are part of the REI USA library that Stacy has uploaded into the YouTube channel. Are any of you familiar with the YouTube channel?
No.
Okay, let me go ahead and show you that. And then I'm going to start doing some Q&A to make sure that any pressing or burning questions that you have today are answered. So let me go to YouTube. And everyone can see me and hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. All right. We have several more individuals. Did everyone have a happy holidays?
Oh, yes. It was so good. Super relaxed.
That's what I love to hear. Awesome.
What about you, Rachel?
It was good. Yeah, super relaxed as well.
I saw a picture of your family. I think you posted it on Instagram or one of those sites. It looks so beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, my little Christmas card. I think I posted it on in the Facebook group as well. Okay, so I'm gonna share screens, and I see a lot of people are trying to jump on. Let's see, share screen. And then we'll jump right in, guys. It's 5 minutes after the hour. Awesome. Okay, can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. All right, so all I did was type in to youtube.com. I type in REI-USA, and I'm looking for Stacy. Okay, and then if you click the link in here.
Hey, Rachel,
We're
right
only
now,
seeing
I
your
think what is
calendar.
there- Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Let's try that again, guys, huh? I have like 4 monitors, guys. I'll take a picture of the monitors for you at some point. No exaggeration. Okay, come on, Zoom. It's weird. Oh, there it is. Stop screen share. And then let me share again. And how's that now, guys? Any better?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. All right, so you go to youtube.com, you type in REI-USA, you're looking for this branding and Stacy. And then you'll select just to see the different playlists. And if you go to playlists, I believe you can view like so many of the other teachings. And if you want to go specifically into mine, as a yes, they're all listed here. So I can kind of tell it because I have the purple branding, but if you go through it, they're not titled for what we're talking about, but I do a great deal of analysis. And I really think it's a great place to start. And also I have a couple of guests relative to design or market analysis. And so she'll upload them on a weekly basis. And so, okay, this is a good one. This is Avery Carls. She's the author of Short-Term Rental, Long-Term Wealth. So she's my go-to team when it comes to investing in the Southeast, specific areas in the Southeast. So take a look in here, guys. I think you'll find a lot of value from the analysis. It's going to be timely, right? That kind of information doesn't change in terms of how to analyze a property, some of the data that I'm using in order to analyze the properties. There are a few new resources as well. So I'm going to share with you real quick in my Facebook group. If you have not been to my Facebook group yet, I do interview quite a few individuals in the industry. So for instance, one of my favorite tools to use in conjunction with AirDNA is one called Rabu. So I had the opportunity to interview the CEO of Data Rabu beginning of December to just kind of talk about how that tool, how to leverage that tool, and the difference between that tool is, you know, as compared to AirDNA. Those are 2 of the 3 tools that I use to analyze a property. And so that was a really, really good talk. And so for tonight, I have a teaching every Tuesday night in my Facebook group. So this is just announcements real quick. Tonight, I'm interviewing Drs. Jeffrey Pascal and Dr. Claudie Pascal. They own this absolutely stunning cabin in the desert. So it's called the Wildflower Cabin. And I'll show you a picture here. So we'll be talking about unique stays, luxury stays and getting press and media. So they, their cabin was featured on the Magnolia Network, as well as the Discovery Channel. And I'll give a little insight on our property that was featured on Netflix as well. And so that's a little bit about what I'll be bringing to the Facebook group tonight. So really excited to have them join us. Okay, so for those of you that are just joining, wanted to jump in real quick and share. My name is Rachel. I'm a healthcare professional by day, luxury real estate investor by night. I operate in the luxury short-term rental space, primarily in single family homes, where I look at how do I own and operate the fewest number of properties that generate the highest profitabilities. So just like any of you, I'm that girl who does get door envy, but because I do work full-time as a healthcare professional, I really am very strategic about the properties I invest in because I really want to leverage and squeeze the juice out of every single property, because I won't be the one with 100 doors like my counterparts with 20 doors. You know, I like to be very minimalistic. So I really cater to multi-generational multi-families, meaning larger families traveling to an area, whether it's to visit, you know, one another, or to attend a wedding, or to get away, create that little bubble and get away. So looking at a little bit of the larger homes, and that's where I have drawn quite a bit of the profitability, offering luxury services, luxury setup, a little bit of the luxury amenities that the guests are asking for. And so for me, that has been the game changer in terms of our profitability. So with that being said, just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an intro of who I am, because I am seeing a few new faces here. Just wanted to make sure you all knew. And my announcement also is, unfortunately, a good portion of my team has contracted COVID at the hospital. So although I was supposed to be off for the entire morning, I will be jumping off at 9:30. I probably have a little bit of wiggle room, maybe 9:35 or so, to remotely log into the hospital and help out. So with that being said, I do apologize in advance. I did reach out to Stacy and to Christy. I haven't heard back from them. Oh, Patricia, thank you. She's like, Rachel is amazing. Yeah, and so thank you. I think you guys are amazing. You guys are really crushing it. I love the action takers in this space. And so with that being said, I know Sheila, you are new with us today, and you said you had a few questions. So I want to make sure I jump in and answer those questions before we move on.
Yes, good morning to all. I was just explaining to Rachel, I'm new to Airbnb. And so being very new, I have tons of questions. But the one thing I'm concerned, well, not really concerned, but I'm curious about is the pricing. I have my own price, but the smart pricing on Airbnb, do I use that or do I not use that? You know, I'm just not, I don't see it working in my favor. Like, especially during the holiday season. So just trying to figure that one out.
Smart lady. Never, ever, ever use Airbnb smart pricing. Ever. So unfortunately, you know, Airbnb, for better or for worse, it is the platform that we use. It is when you're searching for short-term rentals, it is the Google of short-term rentals. This is where everyone is going to look, but their smart pricing tool, in my opinion, is a conflict of interest. Okay, they want your place booked. You want your place booked. There's nothing wrong with that, but they will drive the price down. I've seen them drive it down to the lowest possible denominator in order to get that place booked. And you know what? I'm of the philosophy, you'll see I'm very different from other short-term rental operators or investors. I would let my property sit empty before I drive it down to certain pricing, because at certain pricing, the risks and the reward, there's such a mismatch, right? I would rather it sit empty than to drive it all the way down where it's not even worth it. So never use Airbnb smart pricing. I started off manually pricing until I found a tool, and you'll see on in the training in the YouTube channel where I talk about don't always turn off smart pricing. It's not smart. I know they're making great strides to make it better, but I haven't seen that yet. So I can't testify that it's better yet. But I use a pricing algorithm called pricelabs.co. Pricelabs.co. That is the tool that I use to help dynamically price our properties. I do not use Airbnb smart pricing.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Let's see here. It's interesting, guys. It says that there are 11 participants, but I only see 5. Isn't that weird? And I'm sure you guys probably see even less than I do, huh?
Correct. We see none.
You see none. Okay. All right. So with that being said, Sheila, what other questions do you have?
Okay. It's just so many. One thing people said is don't be petty because a lot of things are going to happen. They're going to break your house rules and it's just, I guess when it comes to the rating part, how lenient do I be or do I be brutally honest?
It's a gut check, I think, so be factual. I would say be factual. Almost like sandwich it in a little bit. If there were good things about the guest, be factual about that. The guests exhibited great communication or responded quickly when I reached out. However, there were cigarette butts in the place and it's a non-smoking unit. Those are facts, right? So
right.
with no emotion, be factual. What was found, what was not found, what was adhered to, what was not adhered to. And guess what? It's so important to be factual. Do not just say they were amazing and they didn't do anything wrong, because you know what, me as a host, right? If I see that review and I realize, okay, there are cigarette butts, do I want to host them? Do I not want to host them? My husband works in addiction, so he's a little bit more, lenient with things like that. I'm like, don't smoke in my house, So I'm like, I asked him about it. I'll say, well, it says in this review, there was some cigarette as the next host. And then at that point, I can inform my decision. Do I want to host them or do I not? And so if they say, oh yeah, that was a cousin, they didn't listen. I told them not to smoke inside. I'm never traveling with that cousin again. I was like, okay, just know that this is something we're coming for you if there's going to be smoke and that kind of thing. So if you can be factual without being emotional, that's going to be important, right? And again, sandwich it in, say, yes, they left the kitchen clean, but they did this, or they left the kitchen clean, however, we found this. Then the next host can say, is that a deal breaker for me or is that not a deal breaker for me? But by you not saying anything at all, it kind of, it hurts the whole business, because you would want that courtesy being extended to you, and I want that courtesy being extended to me. As far as giving them a low rating, I would tread lightly with giving them a too low of a rating, because that hurts your visibility. So if you end up rating a whole bunch of people 1, 1, 1, like if they just completely trashed the place, yeah, a 1. But if there were some dirty sheets and it was kind of stained and you can mitigate against that, I wouldn't give them a low rating. If you start to give them a lot of low ratings, Airbnb's algorithm pushes your listing to the bottom. If you're rating individuals lower than, I don't know the number, and they're not disclosing the number, but if you're rating them low, your visibility is going to be impacted.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to jump over to Sharita. Welcome. This is your first time with us also, right?
Yes. It is my first time.
What question do you have for us?
So this is the funny thing. I don't even know what to ask. I'm kind of here as a fly on the wall, but my husband is like creeping around the corner. So he had like all the questions because he kind of found out that one of our properties was going to be Airbnb. And he was like, okay, well, when did you make that decision? I was like, oh, well, I made it like 2 weeks ago. I think I just forgot to verbalize it. so yes, he has plenty of questions.
Bring it on, bring it.
Yeah, good morning, Rachel.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Likewise. My first question I have is I guess it's a dilemma that's coming up very quickly for us, is how much should we spend on furniture? And and we have a 1-bedroom, 1-bath duplex. So each unit is 1 bedroom and 1 bath, and they're roughly 600 square feet each. So should I be looking at like $1 per room, $1 per square foot, or is there something else that you can help advise us on?
Yeah, that's a great question. So it depends on the level of furnishings, right? So you need to determine, is your property going to be a standard property, a luxury property, or an ultra luxury property? And then the dollar per room, the dollar per square foot varies based on that, okay?
We are going to be luxury.
Luxury. Okay, so with that being said, I'm doing the calculation right now.
Rachel, what were those 3 categories you said? Or what the 3?
Standard, luxury, and ultra luxury.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, so I would say, with that being said, I would stick around maybe 3,000 per bedroom.
Okay.
Up to, for luxury, from 3,000 per bedroom, because supply chain is kind of tricky right now. So you're going to have to give yourself some wiggle room. It is not easy to get furniture. So 3,000 per bedroom up to $10 per square.
Okay. Thank you.
But higher end, I've seen $25 per square, but that is going to include everything. I'm talking about appliances and so on and so forth. So $25 per square. You need appliances.
Yeah, we need everything. It's a blank canvas. Like the walls aren't even up right now. So we would
Gotcha.
My second question is a follow-up to one of the earlier participants. You talked about PriceLab as your dynamic pricing tool. And yes, like I said, we have never done this. So my question is, how does PriceLab compare to like AirDNA? I believe they also have a dynamic pricing tool. Is there a large difference, or is there a reason why you choose one versus the other?
AirDNA is not a dynamic pricing tool. It's actually a data scrape of all of the verbal and AirDNA pricing over the last several years. So it's a data mining, data scraping tool. It is not a dynamic pricing tool.
Got it.
Yeah. So it's great for research, but it doesn't do anything with your listing. So my dynamic pricing tool integrates with my listing and changes my price on a day-to-day basis. That makes sense. So what would compare to PriceLabs is Wheelhouse. Okay, so there's PriceLabs, there's Wheelhouse, and there's Beyond Pricing. These are the 3 tools that are out there. The interface for PriceLabs is not that great, but I'm sticking to PriceLabs. I started with them and they have yet to let me down, and they have really saved our bacon on several occasions where an event's happening, all the properties are priced out. I wouldn't have known to increase my pricing. So I would suggest on day 1, if you want, do your grassroots search, see what the neighbors are charging, see what the hotels are charging, just kind of do your grassroots research, price it accordingly, and then integrate PriceLabs in there. You'll be surprised sometimes, like one day, no joke, one day, we put our listing up. Price Labs had it at $28,000 a month. And I was like, that's crazy. Because my mind was at 10K per month. I was like, yeah, that's going to be really profitable. Price Labs put it at 28,000. I was like, oh my gosh, it's broken. And I got a booking that night for the 28,000. And that's the listing that ended up on Netflix TV show. So
Nice.
I don't mess with Price Labs. I kind of let it do its thing. And so that has made all the difference for me.
Got it. Well, in the interest of time, I know you only have 5 minutes left. I will pass along my questions to others, but you've answered my 2 main questions.
Awesome. And Sharita knows how to find me. So. Okay, let me see. It looks like, okay, someone said what was the third tool? Let me see. Hang on one second. Where is it? Where's the chat? There it is. Okay, Sheila. So I said Price Labs, Wheelhouse, and Beyond Pricing. Price Labs, Wheelhouse, and Beyond Pricing. Those are the tools that I use for dynamic pricing. All right. Mike, I haven't heard a peep from you. Mike, what's going on?
Not a lot, just actually our another leg of our company is getting into short-term rentals. So just here to learn some stuff.
Awesome. What questions do you have today? And look, we have a lot of newbies, so no question is a dumb question.
Actually, you've answered some through other folks, especially the pricing guidelines and things like that. It's some things we've looked at. Of course, we've done a lot of research, but we're ready to get into it.
Absolutely. And so my rule of thumb, guys, and you probably know this, and I beat this drum all the time, regulations before numbers. So definitely look at the training. I do one on regulations as well, on how to find out what the regulations are for your specific township or municipality or county and all of that. And so if it's not posted, if it's not clear, the municipality code, definitely make a call to the county clerk's office and ask them if there's anything in draft. I even ask, is there something in draft right now, just so that I can get my hands on it to see what the temperature is. So definitely something that is always on the forefront of my mind. I know that we didn't touch on that yet, but definitely wanted to mention that. I'm going to jump over to PJ real quick. PJ, I know you launched your short-term rental not too long ago. How are you? How are things going?
Horrible. I have not launched. I've been like donating money to my mortgage every month. I paid someone to help me get set up, and it was an absolute disaster. I'm here now, actually.
What?
I know, it's so frustrating, but we're hoping that we can get a few things. And of course, I desperately want to do luxury short-term rentals, but I'm all tapped out between the money that I spent on just acquisition and then paying this person who ended up not really being helpful. So I'm very, 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 very frustrated.
Oh man. So
Yeah.
how did you find this individual? Who recommended them?
So I found them on one of these short-term rental groups, and so we talked a lot. We vetted. She's from Texas. The property is in Ocean City, Maryland. I mean, it's and I'd seen her work before, but Ocean City, I think one of the things when you hire these interior designers or people to help set up your B&B, they really have to be familiar with the area too. I mean, I know you can do it from a distance for sure, but you really should be familiar. So she was unfamiliar. She had, when she came, she didn't realize like the airport was like 3 hours away. She didn't factor that in. She came with her new dog. It was just her alone with the puppy. It was just really, really, the puppy peed on my rug. I mean, it was just a disaster. And we just never got it set up. So my husband and I are here now trying to see what things we can do. And then just to get it listed, and I'm going back and forth because I really feel like I can do this on my own, but because we live about 4.5 hours away from the property, we need to just maybe get it listed with the property manager just so that we can get it into a flow. And then after that, take it over before spring and summer when we get most of our rentals. Like that's where our bread and butter comes.
Gotcha. So cautionary tale, right? Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
For sure.
Oh my goodness.
So
So I
anyway,
will tell you, it's going to be really specific. So I do work with a couple of interior designers, and one of the students in my mentorship, I don't know if you saw in the Facebook group, Ramya, her property got set up while she was in India. And so
wow.
my resource did a great job. She lives in Georgia, but she went to North Carolina and set up the whole property. She did say the bottleneck and what she ran into was furniture, right? You can't just order furniture and have it there. It was one of those things where she had to go into a store and just point. You know what I mean? She had to do that kind of shopping. It wasn't one of those where, oh, we're just going to order furniture, because it was going to take 12 weeks. So wherever you're at, I do recommend pre-marketing the property. Go ahead and list it now.
Yeah.
List it now so that you can see that revenue is going to be coming in. That's going to help. List it now, but don't open the calendar until say February, and don't open Instabook, and make sure you add your cleaning fee. So don't open Instabook, right? You want to have a conversation, list it now so that you can start to get some traction. But close out the calendar till February or March, or when you think you're going to really be able to host.
Okay, thanks.
I hope that helps some, PJ, but definitely reach out if you need help.
I am.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. Vali, is all well before I jump off? I know I have to get on this call. I'm trying to get on with the hospital.
Yep, I'm good for the moment. Thank you. I'm speaking to somebody up in Montana for a potential property, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah.
Oh,
anyway.
That's so exciting.
And it would be a big, it would be able to sleep. It'd be like what you do, Rachel. So it's a little nerve-wracking, be able to sleep like 13, the luxury. Yeah. So, but anyway, yep. So maybe more to come. We'll see.
Oh, sounds good, Vali. Well, congratulations on that. I know you work really hard with your outreach, so that's awesome. Well, guys, I hope you guys were feeling a little bit inspired. I hope you got to see a little bit me pulling the hood open a little bit to let you guys see what I use as my pricing tool. I know we have to jump off real quick, but I hope you have a great Tuesday, guys. Bye for now, and see you next time.
Thanks, and wellness to everyone in your team.
Thank you. Oh my goodness.
Bye-bye.